When we leave this stage tonight, it is no longer about us. It is about cultivating the game that has given so much to us. It's about nurturing football to live and thrive another day, another year, decade, and another generation. It's about guaranteeing that kids everywhere can learn, bond, grow, and have fun with every flag pulled, every tackle made, every pass thrown, every run, block, sack, and touchdown scored.
The stadium hums with electricity. In the depths of the Louisiana Superdome, a 10-year-old boy lingers in the shadowed corridors, eyes wide as his father launches spirals to teammates under the blinding dome lights. The sound of 60,000 voices, cheering, chanting, dreaming, cascades through the concrete like thunder. In that moment, something begins. Not a career, not yet, but a purpose. A whisper from destiny that one day this boy would not just follow in his father's footsteps, but surpass them in ways the world had never seen. New Orleans in the early 1980s breathed football the way it breathed jazz, natural, powerful, ever-present. And in the heart of the Garden District, beneath the canopy of moss-draped oaks, the Manning household pulsed with a different kind of rhythm. Archie Manning wasn't just the Saints' quarterback. He was a symbol of hope for a franchise that struggled for relevance. He wore the bruises of defeat with quiet dignity, never surrendering the belief that greatness was possible. Inside their home on First Street, football wasn't just a sport, it was a language, a culture, a legacy. Peyton Manning grew up listening to game film before most kids had learned their multiplication tables. He studied coverages, asked questions, and absorbed nuance. While others played Nintendo, he flipped through playbooks like scripture. Defense schemes, offensive line shifts, hot routes. He memorized it all, not to impress, but to understand. His childhood was preparation disguised as play. At Isidore Newman School, Peyton didn't simply emerge as a quarterback. He evolved into a maestro of motion and command. Coaches, scouts, and reporters came to see the latest Manning prodigy, but they found something even rarer, a teenager who dissected defenses like a coach with a cannon for an arm. He didn't just make throws, he made sense of chaos. Friday night lights weren't just for spectacle anymore, they were for study. When it came time to choose a college, the football world waited breathlessly for Peyton to follow his father's path to Ole Miss. But true to form, he defied the script. He chose Tennessee, not for comfort, but for challenge. Knoxville was hungry. The Volunteers hadn't won a national title in nearly 50 years, and the pressure on the 18-year-old phenom was suffocating. But pressure, as history shows, creates diamonds. At Tennessee, Peyton Manning transformed expectation into execution. He threw for over 11,000 yards and 89 touchdowns. But the stats, as impressive as they were, told only part of the story. What truly set him apart was his preparation. He arrived first, left last, and spent countless hours in film rooms, not out of obligation, but obsession. He wasn't just playing football, he was inventing a new way to think about it. Teammates marveled as he read defenses like novels and changed plays at the line of scrimmage with surgical precision. His audibles weren't guesses, they were predictions. By his senior year, Peyton had become the face of college football. He won the Maxwell Award, the Davy O'Brien Award, the Johnny Unitas Award, but not the Heisman. Voters gave it to Charles Woodson, a cornerback from Michigan. It stung. But as always, Peyton turned pain into purpose. The 1998 NFL Draft arrived cloaked in suspense. The Indianapolis Colts held the #1 pick. The debate between Manning and Ryan Leaf dominated headlines, but behind closed doors, there was no debate. The Colts knew what they had in Peyton, a general, a tactician, a leader born, not made. When Commissioner Paul Tagliabue read his name, it wasn't just an announcement, it was a new beginning. Manning's rookie season, however, was anything but regal. He threw 28 interceptions to 26 touchdowns. The Colts finished 3-13. Critics pounced. Maybe he was overrated. Maybe he was another college hero who couldn't cut it in the pros. But Peyton didn't flinch. He doubled down on study, on effort, on belief. He watched the film until his eyes ached. He practiced mechanics until muscle memory replaced doubt. And slowly, the tide began to shift. By his second year, he led the Colts to a 13-3 record. The offense evolved into something resembling art, precise, efficient, unrelenting. And at the center was Peyton, orchestrating with a tempo and intelligence the league had never seen. His pre-snap routine became iconic, pointing, shouting, shifting, commanding every inch of the field like a chess master on Sunday. The rivalry with Tom Brady emerged like a storm. Manning versus Brady wasn't just a matchup, it was a clash of philosophies. Peyton's relentless preparation and timing against Brady's ice-cold composure and late-game heroics. Their battles defined an era, and for years it seemed Brady held the edge, especially in the postseason. But on February 4th, 2007, Manning silenced every doubt. In the rain-drenched Super Bowl 41 in Miami, the Colts faced the Chicago Bears and their vaunted defense. Peyton delivered, not with flash, but with focus. He threw for 247 yards and a touchdown, leading Indianapolis to a 29-17 victory. He was named Super Bowl MVP. The monkey was off his back. The golden child had his crown. What followed was a stretch of excellence that borders on myth. Between 2008 and 2010, Peyton won his third and fourth MVP awards. He consistently led the Colts to double-digit win seasons. His understanding of defenses was so advanced that even elite defenders admitted they were often guessing. He made average receivers great. He elevated offensive coordinators into head coaches. He was the system. In 2011, neck pain became something more. Spinal fusion surgery followed, career-threatening, life-altering. Manning missed the entire season. Whispers turned to roars. He was done. The Colts, facing a rebuild and holding the number. One draft pick made the gut-wrenching decision to release the man who had defined their franchise for 14 years. That farewell press conference felt like the end of an era. Fans wept. Peyton choked back tears. He thanked Indianapolis, not just for the cheers, but for believing in him when he needed it most. It could have ended there. But legends don't retire from adversity. In 2012, John Elway and the Denver Broncos offered a second act. Some called it a gamble. Others saw prophecy. Peyton joined a team with talent, altitude, and ambition, and he delivered. That year, he threw for 4,659 yards and 37 touchdowns, leading the Broncos to a 13-3 record. He wasn't just back, he was better than ever. Then came 2013. The masterpiece. Peyton threw for a record 5,477 yards and 55 touchdowns, both single-season NFL records. He won his fifth MVP. He turned Sunday broadcasts into showcases, eviscerating defenses with quick reads and pinpoint passes. The Broncos soared to the Super Bowl, but were blown out by the Seahawks. Still, Manning's legacy remained untarnished. 2 years later, in Super Bowl 50, that legacy was sealed. At 39, no longer the gunslinger he once was, Peyton leaned on guile, grit, and one of the greatest defenses in history. He threw for just 141 yards, but it was enough. The Broncos defeated the Panthers 24-10. Peyton Manning, against all odds, had won a second Super Bowl and ended his career on top. He walked off the field with grace. The confetti wasn't just celebration, it was closure. Peyton retired as the NFL's all-time leader in career passing touchdowns, 539, and passing yards, 71,940 at the time. He won 200 regular season games, tied for the most by any starting quarterback, until Brady later surpassed him. He was a 14-time Pro Bowler, a 7-time first or second team All-Pro, and a 2-time Super Bowl champion. but stats can't fully capture what Peyton Manning meant. He changed his position. He redefined how quarterbacks prepare, turning film study into a weapon. He influenced offensive play calling across the league. He elevated teammates, coaches, even franchises. He wasn't just a quarterback, he was a blueprint for greatness. Today, his voice echoes in stadiums not as a quarterback, but as a storyteller, commentator, and ambassador of the game. His ESPN Plus series, Peyton's Places, brings history to life. His leadership off the field continues to shine through business ventures and philanthropy. And back in New Orleans, where it all began, a city remembers the boy in the Superdome shadows, wide-eyed, dreaming, watching his father throw passes beneath the lights. That boy became a man who left an indelible mark on football, not just with his arm, but with his mind, his will, and his heart. Because some legends are made on Sundays, but Peyton Manning was built every day before that.